Martin.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Marshall, Dr. Parr, Dr. Cavan, and thank you in particular for the introduction. And you're right, I've heard the acronym NISRA many times, but I've never heard such a comprehensive description of what you do. I take it the public's main point of contact with NISRA is when they go and register a death, birth, or a marriage.
Yes, I mean it's obviously something which at some stage in our lives, we're all engaged in. Yes, we also do have we do quite a few number of surveys. That you will be aware, for instance, that the unemployment statistic, which quotes the labour force survey, that just doesn't fall from a tree in a sense. But you actually have to go out and interview people, and we have a cadre of around about 300 interviewers who are based in different parts of Northern Ireland and work for us in engaging with the public, normally in their own homes. We would send out a letter to individuals indicating in advance, this survey is ongoing and we would like you to take part. There's a number if they want to contract out, but if we don't hear from the interviewer, will arrive at their door. And they're very skilled people in terms of getting responses from individuals. So our response rates are quite good compared to other parts of the UK.
Tell me, I want to just touch, it's been a while since I registered a birth or a marriage, but I travel in hope. The last time I did, the forms weren't available in Irish. Are the forms available in Irish at present?
No.
Are they available bilingually?
No.
Does the European Charter and Minority and Lesser Used Languages put any responsibility or obligation on you to provide any materials in Irish to those who wish to register a birth, death, or
what we do is if there's a case for an individual coming to register an event or, for instance, participate in a marriage, and they don't actually have command of English, then there is a facility for the registrar to advise us and for us to engage an interpreter to facilitate that individual.
Well, I was actually thinking more of the Irish language. I mean, you're aware of the European Charter, and
yes.
Do you have any response to that? I mean, in your outworkings, do you provide any materials at all? Would there not be some obligation or duty or responsibility or under the Charter to provide some type of service to those? I'm thinking about Irish speakers in particular. Yeah. I'm sure the other services are very worthwhile, but I was listening to a young man this morning radio saying he speaks Irish to his children, they go to Irish schools, so I'm sure he would be delighted to register that birth on an Irish language form as well. But just wondering in terms of the Charter, if you want to come back, you don't need to answer it now, but come back and tell me what
I'll certainly come back to you on that. But I think probably in common with most other parts of government, it's the idea is that probably this needs to await a more general, if you like, agreement in terms of the use of other languages in official forms. But I will come back to you. I'll double check. And I know, for instance, that if someone wants to register a name, an Irish name, that's not a problem in terms of how it's registered on a certificate, with the inflections.
I'll ask the Irish speakers to have no children and still get that language act sort of thing. No, I want to ask you maybe about something more relevant to your report.
Agree with
that. You report about your training and how you assess what percentage of people have had training to deliver their business objectives. It's OP1. And you've this target of 80%, and I agree with Mr. Gervin. And 80%, I think 80% is fantastic. But why 80%? Why not 75%? Why is 80 decided that would be the figure? Just to finish, and then the survey's carried out in January. Is that not a bit late in the year to be asking people have they received? Is that not? A bit late to say if you received the training you want? Would not be a bit earlier in the year?
Well, the 80% is very easy to explain. Last year in our survey, we had a target of 76% last year, and we achieved 78.7%. So therefore, we increased the level of our target above our achievement from last year to 80. It seems like a round number without that background information, but that's the reason why. In terms of the timing, we're actually asking people about their retrospective training during the 14-15 year. So by the time they're answering the survey, it is timely because we'll be in February. And they'll have to be thinking about what they might be having in March to include in that. In terms of planning for the next year, though, that's a different process, not related to the survey, and that's about getting people's training needs at the beginning of the year centrally, and then setting up a programme which delivers that. Last year, you'll see that I've referred to the NISRA Training and Development Report there. Last year in 13-14, we didn't provide much of the training that people needed, mainly down to because of financial constraints. So what we've done this year in 14-15 and will carry forward to next year is that we have deliberately tried to change our approach in that we've got people who are willing to train within NISRA for free to their colleagues. So we have a very good programme of training, basically colleagues peer training, people training each other, which has gone very well this year, which I would hope would let us hit that 80. And also we have been working with the National Statisticians Office, who provide training for free through their good practice team. So we've managed to do more training this year than we did last, and for free. So we feel that's why we've made the target amber. Now the reason it's amber rather than green is that we are very confident, but we haven't actually got an 80% on the record books to say we hit that before. So we are stretching ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Parr. Gordon Wagner, Hurley.